We're going to scene frame Bridget and Ray finally got you around.
I've seen the Perber.
But you have found a book named Monsters and Their Kind.
The Tibetan folk thing.
It is unlike anything you have ever seen.
Is there an author?
It is anonymous.
It's a 59 on my power, which is 60.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe she's done this.
She levels this automatic pistol at you.
The fuck?
I did not realise that he would be playing with you already.
Angelica. Is she in the hall?
You saw her transform into this 13-year-old boy.
And then he melted into the coat stand.
As if he's part of the shadows.
Oh my god, so the Angelica we've
So the Angelica you were talking to that whole way
So wait, whoa.
is now being questioned in your mind.
It's a fair comment.
I think that's a sanity roll.
I think you're a sanity roll.
No Angelica has ever been seen coming down the stairs.
Oh, that's so true, yeah.
So intelligence.
What is it? How does it work?
and doing marvellous things with his beard.
I think the beard might need to be a player in itself.
Fuck, yeah.
Very demanding this evening, aren't you?
I am very demanding.
Shatter nerve to pap, here we go.
I just think we called it a potion.
A potion?
A Coca-Cola sangria or something.
Turbo Shandy.
Turbo Shandy's good.
Whatever you're dealing with seems to understand intimate parts of yourself.
I will try to swipe the gun out of her hand.
This is a brawl maneuver.
She's like a pudgy coiled spring.
I think it's a good use of luck.
The fuck are you doing?
You slap the gun out of her hand.
The fuck are you playing at, you crazy Belgian asshole?
I'm scared of Nathan.
Okay, this is bullshit. No, this is bullshit. You don't put a gun on your friend, ever.
If he's toying with you already, we have to try to save you.
Talk to me.
She looks at the gun.
No.
Chinner.
None of that, mannequin P.
Sorry.
She raises her hand and you see the scar.
God, your details.
And you see this black line going down and down and down.
Like an infection.
I think it will be Nathan. He'll be here soon.
I'm not your enemy. I'm your friend. I'm in this with you. We're together. What do we need to do?
We need to do the seance.
Now?
We need to speak to the ones who died trying to stop this thing.
Who died?
David released something when we were there, dancing around the fire.
Yeah,
And when we were together, do you remember? You
Yeah.
and me and Maggie, the three of us?
Kind of. It's a long time ago.
When we did those things together? And she sort of looks hopeful.
That whole night's kind of a blur to me, to be honest, Marie.
Take the gun and put a bullet through the middle of her forehead.
No, Daniel. That is not how we do this.
You'll regret not doing it.
In the UK...
You'll regret not doing it. I'm just saying.
No, that's a 93.
Just press it to one of her bonsai trees and that'll make her tell you the truth.
And standing in that doorway, which is partially open, is the golden spectacled man. And he says, if I were you, I'd just put a bullet between her eyes. You'll regret it if you don't.
We're not alone. There's a very powerful entity here. He's been haunting me.
She runs for the gun.
Fuck my face. I turn to the man in the golden spectacles and I say, stop her!
But of course. And he reaches his hand out, and her whole body freezes in a rictus.
Oh my god!
And you can see her shaking, going...
And while he's holding her, I reach down, I grab the gun, I slap the chamber open, and I empty it.
And she just drops to the floor. Clearly, she's pissed herself. Driven unconscious.
Fear and fury in equal part.
Redmark. The name's Oliver Redmark. By the way.
This guy's trouble. A mile wide.
Bring him in here, Roger. There, upon the daybed. Place him down, gently now, gently, man. Let us make no mistake about it. He is most sick. I have here hot canary wine, but you must fetch the physician, yes, you understand? Yes, my master. You must run now to Mr. Brentford's. I fly. Can you hear me, James Seabright? Can you hear me? Wake from thy reverie, Seabright. It is I, Sir John. James Seabright, do you hear me, man? Oh, Sir John. Forgive me. It was as if my mind was still held in that place. Easy now. tell me first what became of thy companions in that dread clearing, Samuel and Jacob. They did not return with thee. Dost thou know what befell them? What became of the man? Here, drink some of this hot wine.
I cannot say. For a time, we were together, but the thing was there.
What thing is this? The boy you spoke of, the evil one.
The Prince of Air. It walked amongst us, moving, possessing us, our mortal souls in danger. Now to think that those girls fled at the sight of us. Samuel caught up with one. I saw him hold her, and then something dreadful struck him from her.
What do you mean, man? What do you say? Is it that you rave?
A thing more like a violence to nature than a tongue. Yet it was her tongue. It came from her, and it was forked like the serpent. And it clutched him about the face. He went still, stock still as a stone, and then he fell. I felt no pulse. I brought up my pistol, meaning to fire on the girl, and she had run. I tried to give chase, but the snow gathered about my feet and seemed to mock my steps as I pursued. Forgive me, Lord, forgive me.
And what of Jacob?
I saw him try to parley with the boy.
Here, easy, man.
Sir John.
Have some more of the wine. It is hot, and it will do thee good. Gently. Sip it here. There.
The boy was not a boy. He merely seemed as such.
He was the devil yet?
Nay, sir. Not the devil. No. Only one who serves the princes of hell.
How canst thou be so certain, man? Thou speakst with such a surety that thou givest me fear for mine own soul.
Listen, Sir John. It is not so straight as this. These are not angels fallen, but something of the stars that coil and writhe in darkness. They know a way to speak in the minds of men. I felt it clawing and crawling in mine own mind. It whispered to me. It gave me such promises.
Nay, this is the devil's work. No soft and susurrating murmur of stars be found here.
I swear to thee, it was not the devil. I would have known it. This was something else. A timeless thing, born of fault and ambition, leaping from the stars down to the earth. It has no name. But it is a cursed, corrupted blessing.
I see from thine eyes thou thinkst thou dost speak the truth. And ever have you been a trusted fellow, James. Well then, on.
I know that my wits do not seem so fair to thee, good sir. But I am well recovered. I shall yet master myself. But I would say it before the memory fades. The girl, Rose Abingdon, she was innocent. She had no true part in it, I believe it. She was twisted by it. It was only through her that we were able to see him, even. Once she had touched us, then we were somehow touched by him also. Oh, it's difficult to explain.
And this other, this ward girl who had been hiding here under another name, what of her? Was she innocent also?
I am not certain, but I think she saved the girl Rose. I think it was Rose's fault that all this came about. She rushed a-working, and with it brought something foul and strange from the stars. It seemed to be no boy, but twice that, or more. Both youthful and so knowing as to have walked great passages and voids of space that time must seem a fleeting thing, the wheels of which have long since broke the axle off, and from its circuit flown quite down upon that snowy field. There, within that circle of birch trees, it rests a while, and will live on, perhaps infinite. I cannot say.
How dost thou know this?
It whispered unto me, within the porches of mine ears. It made quite clear the manner of itself. It serves the Prince of Air, dances in its gyre, and will fold itself into time. It will find those weak, and it will control their hearts. Its touch alone is but enough to bring the weaker minds round to its gaze, and it may send visions unto those loyal or disloyal to it, but any who have been in its presence, touched by its power, or brought it into being.
Well, speak, man, what does it want? All things, they say, must have desires. What is it that it seeks out amongst us poor mortals? Even angels have their fond desires, they say.
What it seeks is occupation of its vast and unfathomable mind.
Those girls, were they corrupted by it? Did they lie with this servant of the Prince of Air? Tell me.
That I cannot say. It did not reveal carnal thoughts unto me. I tried to shoot it, but my gun, it fell short. And then I could not see it. It disappeared from my view.
Then you think that it be gone?
Nay, sir. I think it but waits a time. Some hard broke fragment of it lingers in the earth. I think that I could but see it, for it had touched me. For before that moment, I had no knowledge of it. Here, look upon mine arm, and see. The veins there blackened, from where I took its hand. The subtle pact with which it makes its promise now is deep within my soul. Oh God, forgive me.
Rest now, rest now. My man will bring the physicians soon, I promise you. Thou hast done well. Well indeed, James Seabright. But you must rest now, rest. And seek what peace thou canst. The Apocalypse Players present The Moonchild by Paul Fricker, a 7th edition Call of Cthulhu Scenario from the Nameless Horrors collection. Starring Dominic Allen as Alicia Juico, Danan McAleer as Ray West, Jeannie Spark as Melinda Moody, Dan Wheeler as Eric Wilson, and Joseph Chance as your keeper of the arcane lore. Alicia, you come round to see the face of your friend, Ray. Gently. Well, there's a firmness, I suspect, that has to be there, but...
Yeah. I'm not just backhanding her, but...
You don't actually feel too bad, Alicia. Weirdly. You feel quite like you had a little nap there. A little lie down.
What do you remember? Do you remember everything?
I was in It was the 17th century, and there was a man. He was dying, and I think it was David, but it wasn't David. He was a witch finder. I was some big bloke. I was trying to help him. I think there's someone from the past who's David's opened some sort of channel to, and he's trying to finish something, hunt someone down. Perhaps there was some sort of thing that this witchfinder was trying to stop, and it's loose again, or they never caught it in the first place, and now David is the vessel for the unfinished business. You know what ghosts are like. It's something like that, I think.
Yeah.
Eric, you can hear all of this, by the way.
Fine. Am I?
As your brow is being wiped by Bridget, who's carefully sort of making sure you're okay on this chair.
And to be clear, the kids are in the settee with their hot chocolates. Where's...
They're in the same room.
Where's Dave?
2 yards away. David sat on the stairs, sort of just staring.
Right. Door open, we can sort of see him there, just sort of...
That's like he's behind you, effectively.
Oh, okay, great.
Well, actually, he's off to your left.
Is Alicia talking at sort of volume that it's hushed, like he wouldn't be able to hear?
No, that was audible.
Yeah.
That was audible.
Right.
That was audible. David doesn't seem to be reacting to anything. It's just...
Right, I see.
Where were you? Where was it?
It was in the snow. Outside in the snow.
Alicia, I was there too. I had the same experience with some...
What? Says Bridget.
Bloody hell.
Bridget, I'm sorry, your hand, are you okay?
I was there as well. I didn't believe it. I'm sorry, I just didn't believe it.
It's the woods.
Ray, were you there?
No.
It's the woods where we... You know what I mean.
And I hold up my hand.
Yes.
It was there.
And she holds up her hand, which is now like freshly cut and bleeding.
As is mine.
As is yours. Oh, God. Yes, it was, wasn't it? It's that place.
So?
Ray, can you give me a power roll?
Yeah.
As the three of them look at each other and they've clearly had this experience and you haven't, and you're feeling this sort of sense of isolation, but...
Well, that's a 99.
Which is not a fumble?
Well, my power's 60.
So no, it is not.
Very close to one.
But a good strong fail. You feel this intense sense of isolation. A horrible... Why am I being left out? Again. Why am I the one? Even Eric. Like, Eric's always the one who struggled. He brilliant mind, but no gift with the cards or Ouija, or like even you've had moments, glimpses of something that might be there.
Yeah.
But now, like even he's outstripped you with this connectivity to something that's bigger and greater, and like, damn it, it is just it's just material things. It's just money, isn't it? It's just money's the only thing that really matters.
Yeah.
Enough money to buy the books, to read the secret knowledge, so that it gets better, so you have a chance to get to it.
Exactly.
You feel this sort of intense rage rising in you about disappointment.
Yeah.
About your potential.
Yeah. I've been passed up for promotions time and time again, and all of this social stuff. And looking at this lovely house that David's got. I'm thinking about my little flat back in London.
And maybe you look at David and he's just staring down at the carpet with his hands like a kind of prize fighter, beaten.
Yeah.
And gone to seed, run to fat.
Yeah.
Would be the horrible phrase. Not fair at all, but...
Yeah. Well...
Meanwhile, Bridget, perhaps somewhat cruelly, puts her hand on your shoulder and says, I don't know, maybe
I had no inkling of it until you all arrived, and it was weird that you were coming, and I somehow felt like I knew you were coming, but... David, did you say? I don't know, David, and she sort of goes over to David and kind of gets him by the knees and the thighs and goes, David, snap out of it, and she actually slaps him, and that makes Michael turn around. Angelica doesn't turn around, but Michael sort of turns around and then just whips his head back to the TV, doesn't want to see that, and you all kind of pick up on the intensity of the trio. But actually, all three of you can give me a psychology roll about Michael's action there.
I'd also like to ask a question about Michael, about his appearance. Does he look like this weird 13-year-old boy that we have?
No.
He just looks like Michael now.
Yeah, he looks like an 18-year-old, a young man, got a bit of acne on his face, nice haircut, quite lean.
So this
reminds you a bit of David.
So this weird apparition, but this weird apparition we've all seen, that doesn't tally up with any of the young people that we've seen. It's not Elliot. It's not.
Elliot was the closest by the hair, but that's it.
It also doesn't look like any of us as younger.
It didn't look like Sean either. Sean was too young.
Yeah. It's not Angelica, it's not Michael. Okay.
I got a 6 on my 10, so it's a regular success.
I
got 90 on my 30. Yay.
Nice.
Unlucky.
Psychology, I got a fail, 61 out of 40.
Wow.
Shite.
How would you feel? I give you more on a hard. I don't know what your luck's like.
I could spend the luck.
I
only need to spend 1 to make it hard.
Yep. So not only do you see that Michael's reaction is one of more understanding than you were expecting, there's guilt there, and it's not to do with the actions that have just it's to do with motivation. It's to do with how today has come about. You see it flashes across. He's a teenager still. He just can't hide it in that moment. He kind of looks around and you see this. He pulls the covers up and he sinks down and he pretends that he's watching the TV. It's all deception and it's good, but you just see it all. And then the mask of I'm just a teenager and I've been through something horrible and my parents are fighting comes back up. But there's something about what they're talking about, something that actually I do know what they're talking about. And his head goes down.
And what have they just said to each other? What did she say to Mark?
The other two of you see him whip round, and so they've been talking about. She said, "What have you done?" Effectively, she's going like, "What's happening? What have you done?" and slaps him. And it's not the family drama that makes him turn away; it's a connection to it. David says, "I just followed her wishes. The goddess spoke to me. The goddess spoke to us all. Don't you remember?" And he stands up and his chest glows. And Michael is up out of his seat immediately. Angelica looks confused and he turns around and looks at you all. And Michael looks like he's nervous. And Bridget backs off and goes, What are you doing? What are you doing? It's this white light.
How are you doing that, David? How are you doing that?
She is speaking through me to the faithful. We are...
No, your chest. What the fuck's going on?
The 13.
David.
We are the 13.
How do you know it's the goddess?
We should go.
How do you know it's not something else?
We should pursue the seance. Mel has the gift. I thought John might come, but he isn't here. I thought maybe Maggie might have mastered the art of the secret whispers of the stone. But she has not come either. It's just us. We can fix it. We can fix what happened.
What went wrong?
Red Mark. Tried.
What do you mean about the whispers of the stone? What's Maggie got to do with it?
If we talk to the dead who tried to fix the problem. Bridget says, What have you done? Was it back then? When we all danced in the woods together, was it back? And then she whips around and goes, We've got to help these children.
Yeah, we do.
Angelica, you have to go home.
David. And
she sort of starts busying going over to...
Bridget.
I don't want to go home.
Bridget, why don't you have a sit down? Let me talk to David for a second.
No, I have to get this child home.
Hang on. David.
She does. She stops.
We need to know. We need to know what it is you're trying to fix, what happened that they couldn't do, and why these children are involved today. I understand why we might be involved because of what we did in the place we did it. That makes a lot of sense, what Eric was saying. What have these kids got to do with it? And what is it? What are we up against here? You know the most.
There's a book. I'll get it for you. And he turns around on the stair and he starts to walk upstairs.
I say,
Is it Dorling Kindersley book or...
are you sure you two don't know? I mean, it seems you're all having experiences outside of what I'm having. I mean, you two have both just had a flashback to where we cut our hands. What was it you said? What was it you said at the time? Something about Jacob?
David stops on the stair and when you say that.
Who was Jacob? You two? Alicia, Eric, you...
Do you mean Greg?
Do I?
Jacob.
Jacob? You were talking about Jacob. I don't know who he is.
You mean Jacob?
Yeah.
He looks nervous. Jacob. What about Jacob?
I'm just thinking you two were talking about it that time. There's clearly something going on that I don't know about here. Was it there was something about a dirty old Spaniard and you were mentioning Jacob? It's so long ago I can't remember.
He starts coming down the stairs. Something about a dirty old Spaniard. Yeah. And Bridget says, Jacob, I remember something about Jacob too.
That night, after the ceremony.
You said it, Bridget says, pointing at Ray.
No.
And didn't...
I don't think...
Mel laughed about something. She made some joke. She's always making jokes.
I remember now.
But, Alicia, didn't you... You remember. You always remember. Alicia, didn't you correct something?
Who was Jacob? You were both talking about him. Alicia, you and Eric.
This all starts to ring bells. Eric, you start to go, yeah, this is true. This is true. What Bridget's saying is true. This did happen that night. The night of the ritual.
I might not have revisited the place tonight. Was it snowing the night we did it? Or was it just snowing in your dream?
It wasn't snowing the night that you did it.
Right.
The ritual that you experienced, or the dance, or the...
Yeah.
Letting go. The blessing.
It wasn't a dream, Ray.
Right. Okay. Your transportation then. I'm not saying it. I believe you. I'm just, I'd like to know everything and it feels like there's things being held back, Maybe I'm just being silly.
I'm not holding anything back. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
No, well, that makes the lot of us.
We could ask the dead, says David.
Who are the dead, David? You keep talking about the dead. Who do you mean?
Who's dead? Which dead?
I have the book. I have this book. I'll get it. And he turns back up and he goes to go back up the stairs.
Is he within reach?
Yeah, very much so. You can get him.
I got to grab his arm and I say...
Yeah.
Do you mean us?
He looks a bit aggressive.
Do you mean one of us? Some of us? Who do you mean by the dead? People we know?
Gary?
People who tried to stop something before.
Oh, not Gary then.
Something that went wrong. Gary, why? I'm so sorry about Gary.
What do you mean?
I should have reached out to you and I heard that he died. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I know. He looks confused and he looks at all of you and goes, What? Why are you being strange about Gary?
We're not being strange about Gary.
Yes, you are.
In what way?
You thought I knew. You thought I've missed something.
Well,
knew what?
He sort of steps down and he's suddenly now he's breaking out of his weird distance, and he looks like he's a tired middle-aged man with a steroid problem.
There's nothing to know about Gary except that he's dead.
Well,
it was an accident.
Exactly. Did you think I had something to do with it?
Why would I think that?
It certainly crossed my mind, I have to admit. It was suggested.
And mine tonight.
Suggested by who?
I'm not going to get into naming names, David.
Never mind.
Yeah, it was suggested, but I didn't give it any credence, David, because what they were suggesting was insane.
Right.
Bring, 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 bring.
bing, bing.
Does he start doing that?
This with the phone, fucking. And sadly, he doesn't. That'd be even better. That would be much better.
He's lost his fucking mind.
But it was almost as if the phone starts ringing and he goes, God, Christ alive.
We all shit ourselves.
Bridget goes, and sort of, you all look at each other, and Michael kind of looks at you all and then goes, shall I get it? And then he starts walking over to it.
Prob's best.
And as you say Prob's best, he picks it up and goes, hi. Sorry, yeah, he's here. Who is this? Oh, right. Sorry, Dr. Hasnath. Hasnath? Hasnath. Okay, Dr. Hasnath. Sure. Dad, it's the doctor from the hospital. He says he needs to talk to you about a close friend.
Stacy.
David goes white. He goes, right? All right, thanks. Thank you. And he takes the phone and goes, hello? By the way, the chest has stopped glowing, I should hasten to add. Hello? And his face kind of crumples. God, when? No, I understand. Yes, I'll come over in the morning. Of course. I understand. If that's what she wanted, yes. Goodbye. Yes, goodbye. Click. Now, Ray, did you say...
Is it Stacy?
A name?
Well, yeah.
Did you say that?
Was it Stacy?
Yeah.
Is it about Stacy?
He nods.
So what?
It says they think it's was some problem with the line they put into her. She says that she suffered some freak accident. And God, she's dead. And he sits down.
Shit.
She's dead. They said that they've never seen anything like it. But I was mentioned only hours before, and that I had to attend. Oh God. She's gone. She's really gone.
Fuck. Had you been to see her?
No, but I knew she was there. Bridget goes over to him and says, it's all right, you didn't do anything wrong. That wasn't you. You've done nothing wrong. And he looks at her with such a sort of weird mix of guilt and shame and pleading and doubt. I mean, it's hard to read, but you're pretty sure that all of the stuff is just that thing that he does where it all just flows over him, where it's all true. He does feel guilty. He does feel ashamed. He does feel wrong, but he does feel doubt, as if he didn't do anything to do with this.
Yeah.
It's either a masterwork performance or he doesn't understand what's happening. It could be either. In all truth, you know him well enough.
Yeah. But I think I feel like I leave them in that clinch for long enough to be like, I mean, I'm still taking the fact that Stacey's dead. I mean, not that I've seen her in that long, but, you know, you're still hearing about a childhood friend dying, so it's still sort of the window.
She was one of the 13.
You know? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Listen, David, whether or not this is connected, and who's to say, there's obviously something that went wrong, and you need to explain to us exactly. No cryptology, no cryptic answers here. We need to know who the dead are that we need to speak to. You need to be open with us about that, because how else can we trust you? I want to trust you. I think we all do. But it's been so long and everything's so fucked up and people are being hurt.
I asked for a blessing for us all. I asked for a blessing, and then Bridget goes, we have to think about the children. It's too late. They are now part of it. The children of the 13 are all part of it. Redmark once tried to harness it. The Witchfinder tried to stop it.
Right.
I tried to harness it. Now we will try to stop it.
I asked for a blessing. I believe that we received a blessing. But afterwards, it became corrupted somehow. Something went wrong with the procedure. Something went wrong with the ritual. I don't understand what went wrong.
What was the blessing, David? What came of this?
The blessing of the goddess. You were there. I asked for the blessing of the goddess upon us all, and to give us good fortune.
What good fortune?
None. All of us. Look at me. Within 6 months, my mind was ruined.
This is what I mean. What good fortune befell us?
We were chosen somehow. We have a connection to the goddess. I thought if I could bring about a Moonchild. You can see he's really close to breaking down. Bridget steps away. I thought if I could bring about a Moonchild, then I could write everything that way. That seemed to be the way, but when that did not work, when there could be no blessing, when there could be no Moonchild, I sought the understanding of this book, and he dashes off up the stairs. At least the first section of the stairs.
Yeah.
Do you let him go?
I think we need...
David, Sorry.
No, go on.
I was just going to ask, this book, it's not Monsters and Their Kind.
He whirls around halfway up the stairs. You know it?
Yeah. In fact, I've got my own copy. I bought it with me.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just trying to lighten the mood. I think I do say that, and then I go, I'm joking. I'm sorry. I picked it up, and I take it out.
His eyes go wide, but he steps down slowly this time and says, "That's Red Mark's copy.
Right.
I bought it from his estate. He disappeared.
Right.
It was open on his desk when he disappeared.
And when did he disappear?
1932.
Right. Leaving this copy, which you bought.
I bought it at auction.
And this is what you...
I'd read about it. I'd heard about it.
Where you found the ceremony.
No, it's where I found what might be done to put it right, to speak to the dead.
Right.
Once we have the dead with us, we can try to use them to correct the wrongs.
Which wrongs?
All we have to do is...
Correct. Exactly.
Bridget steps forward and says, "Yes, David. Which wrongs can we correct?" David looks very... Suddenly he looks very frail.
Because, I mean, take a seat if you need to, but my point here is, which are the wrongs you think we can correct? Because if this is something to do with bringing people back to life, I'm not so sure I'm up for that. Misfortune may have befell the group since, but what is it that we can specifically rectify? If this copy was open on this Red Mark's desk when he disappeared, but he's now here, why should we be doing any sort of ceremony similar to that? I mean, it clearly... We don't want to become wraiths walking through walls like he did, do we?
There is an abomination. It has come into being. A malevolent force.
That was the thing in the bedroom then.
The boy.
The tongue.
The child corrupted. What are you talking about, David? Says Bridget. What are you talking about, darling? I tried to right the wrongs. But it's all gone so badly wrong. I thought with your arrival, with the return of the 13, I never thought that Stacy, one of us, would... I don't understand.
How did this thing come about in the first place? Where's it come from?
Yeah.
What does it want?
I think... I don't know. I don't understand it. I can't name it.
Has it always been here? Was it before we even knew each other?
Red Mark says it serves the Prince of Air. So, if you've not heard the term the Prince of Air before, you can roll your occult or history,
I don't think I have.
depending on which you prefer for that.
I'm pretty sure I haven't.
I think occult, I'd take a standard success. History, I'd take a hard.
Well, I can give you an extreme in history.
All right.
Anything for Ray?
Well, 2 little marks of Astor.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
You know the Prince of Air.
I thought I might.
Is Air, like as in Ayrshire
So,
in Scotland?
Oh, that explains a lot. I was very confused. I was thinking air with an I.
so the Prince of Air was a title that was used by witches describing an angelic force that persuaded them to perform acts which others have described as devilry. Now, Alicia, that to you, in your limited understanding of those transcriptions, is the devil by another name, and it's not Beelzebub. It's something far beyond Beelzebub. It's an inheritor of the apocalypse. It isn't really the real name. You're pretty sure of that.
I was going to say, it sounds like it's a euphemism for one of them princes of hell, you know, the obscure ones you get in the what do you call it? That book. What's it called?
Oh, Paradise Lost?
No, yeah, well, no.
Michael says, the Bible?
No, like the one of the books, the bit they don't put in the Bible, you know, the Apocrypha or Lesser Keys of Solomon, all that sort of stuff.
David nods enthusiastically. Yes. Ray, this is the angel who fell but was not held. That's what you're sure.
Right.
This was a rogue angel.
Yeah.
According to certain transcriptions, you've seen a couple of references to it. They are in witch trials, but they're unique because it's not like the devil came to me.
No.
It's the Prince of Air spake unto me.
It's a very distinct, separate entity.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yours was an extreme, right?
Extreme,
Alicia?
Extreme history.
So also, you know it's directly associated with 3 witch trials in East Anglia, including the Ward sisters. There were 3 sisters from just above Great Yarmouth, a place called Galston. I think, Alicia, with such a good success, you recall an article associated with the Fitzwilliam Museum and the collection there to do with the trappings and totems of witchcraft. This is from the 90s, from the late 90s, and you'd come across it in your researches for antiquities. And it did strike you as an interesting story. And I think the lead academic on it is a woman named Hedlow, who was actually a Banbury-based academic at the time, Oxfordshire. And she had done a study of these Ward sisters, these 3 witches, Margaret, Elizabeth, and Danler, daughters of an established witch who was executed for witchcraft in the 1640s. She was executed in the 1640s for witchcraft, Catherine Ward. And then these 3 daughters, Margaret, Elizabeth, and the unusually named Danler, all had stories of witchcraft related to them. All fled from just outside of Great Yarmouth. Catherine Ward was hanged in Great Yarmouth, and the other 3 left. The middle daughter, Elizabeth Ward, was held for a witch and recorded as drowned not so far away. She was recorded as executed in Seething, also in Norfolk. Danler went west and settled near Banbury, and she was accused of witchcraft but found innocent and lived out a peaceful life, according to parish record. And then the eldest daughter, Margaret, became known as the Beldam Ward, and she was associated with a further inquiry, but she disappeared in the area of the Norfolk Broads and was never found. With an extreme, I'd give you that, yeah.
I see. Well, I relay that to everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I fucked it, but Do I have an impression? Do I have a strong impression either way as to whether or not I would assume this is a potential, you know, in my morality or in my thinking about the occult, would I assume this is a benevolent or a malevolent figure, or am I?
Well, you'd certainly think that could be seen either way. That could be seen.
Yeah.
And also, you know, there's an attitude to witch trials, let's face it, which is, you know, a bunch of arrogant men,
Yeah.
you know, working their own personal politics
For sure.
on suppressing independent and outlier women, which is entirely misjudged and for their own personal benefits. Certainly the Witchfinder General has been questioned heavily in terms of that. So in terms of... But also, you're pretty sure that what she's saying is kind of close to the truth that you understood, but you're pretty sure it's a more... you have a gut instinct that Prince of Air isn't the devil.
No. Something else. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay. Well, maybe I don't distrust...
Redmark tried to harness it,
Right.
but I think it consumed him or destroyed him.
And it is now taking on his form.
I saw him once. His eyes close and his head sinks and he goes, twice. I saw him twice.
Yeah.
Once, when I first bought the book, he warned me not to go down this path.
Right.
And then last week. But I thought that he had left us alone. I thought he was just a shade. I thought he was just... But the wonder of it, to finally see something beyond cantrips and incantations and rituals. Do you understand? I know you understand, because I know that you felt something too. Bridget just says, you're scaring me, David, you're scaring me. We have to think about Michael. After everything he's been through.
Do we need to... Well, for a start...
We need to do the seance. We need to speak to those who died, trying to stop this in the past. Find out the secrets of how they did it.
And Mel's already gone, right? She went on her own, yeah?
Marie... Wait, why did she leave?
She wasn't on her own.
Well, who was she with?
Everybody, all of the NPCs turn to look at you, Eric, with that. I don't know what Alicia does.
Well, I then look at Angelica and say,
You were with her, Angelica.
What? No, I wasn't. You know where I was. But no, she's from Norfolk, isn't she? No, what? You know where I was.
Someone who looked an awful lot like you, Angelica, was in that car when it drove off.
Wait, this has happened before. This happened when we picked you up.
And the prince will cast you in raiments, whereby you may appear as others. And so you will be in mirrors seen, and visions of you found, says David.
Who is it, David? You know who this person is, who this malevolent force is, you know.
It is not a person. It is a corrupted Moonchild. It possesses him. We must.
Who?
Perhaps there's a way we can free the Moonchild.
Who made it? How was it made? David, what are you not telling us?
He looks at Bridget, and Bridget kind of steps back, and you can see tears start to come down. She said, what have you done? Who have you done this with? And he just goes, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. And you sort of see this domestic horror starting to sort of spread and tear their marriage to pieces, finally, perhaps.
Well, listen, before all this...
He goes, and he starts to sink to his knees and goes, I'm just so sorry. Sinks to his knees.
Oh, I'm sorry. Angelica, we've got to be serious here, because if you're saying, Eric, that Angelica left with Mel, then either this is not Angelica, or Mel is in trouble.
Angelica looks really scared. Because I don't know how... What? No, it's me. And Michael says,
I'm pretty sure it's her.
We need to call Mel.
Look, I've been reading some of Dad's books. I've been reading them. I thought there was no harm in it. You encouraged me, Dad. You told me that I should try to understand the inner secrets, and I should have asked your opinion, but I should have asked your advice. But I wanted it for myself. I'm sorry. And he sort of, he kind of gets in the way between the parents as they're sort of breaking up in front of him. And he goes, I tried some things. And they seemed to work.
What did you try?
Bridget goes, what the hell? This is wrong. We have to go over. If Mel's in trouble, we have to help her.
Yes.
You two.
But you have
You
to
two,
tell
get in
us
my car.
Anything you haven't told us, you have to tell us now. We can't go over there blind. We can't trust you anymore, David, unless you tell us everything.
I want it to be right, says David.
Was it something...
I made deals.
With who?
I asked for the blessing of the goddess to grant me power, to grant me charm, to grant me the tongue of a god. And she said yes. And it worked. We all were friends, but more than friends, we were something bigger than ourselves. Didn't you feel it? Tell me that you felt it.
I certainly felt something, but I have no distinct memory of that night. It's a haze. I remember certain things. What did we do there? What went wrong? And why was there dirt under my fingernails the next day? Did we bury something? Is there something there we need to get? Or is there something we left?
Jacob.
Jacob.
Oh, God.
Again, that name, Jacob.
He sort of looks at you in wild horror and says, the book came later. Redmark's copy was superior. I was working from notes translated into the Dutch.
Dutch?
Yes, from the very early 18th century.
Oh, shit.
I'd found them by chance. I thought it was the find of a lifetime.
Yeah.
And when we were students, I used them.
Yeah.
I translated them carefully. I took advice. Maggie helped me.
Look, we don't...
I should have been more honest with her. I should have told her more of what my plan was. But I was selfish. I wanted power. You see, Michael, it's all right. It's what happens. We're weak. The goddess guides us. She's strong. I used what I could. I was careful. But every ritual needs a heart.
Fuck it.
Every ritual must have a focus. I bought a skull for the purpose. I sourced it carefully. It was a Jacob sheep. The skull was a Jacob sheep's skull. What if it was the wrong one? What if that was the wrong piece?
Yes. What if it was?
Wrong how?
Give me the book. And he sort of dashes over.
All right, I think I sort of put it to the side on the table if the table's there. Sort of
Yeah.
In a sort of gesture of, all right, we can open it and have a look, but I'm not just letting you snatch it away, sort of thing. I don't say that. It's that sort of gesture.
He sort of pauses, but like you can feel his whole being wants to get to it.
Yeah. All right, we can look together. That's the whole point of this. Like Eric says, like Alicia says, we need to know everything. So, and I take it out of the plastic case and sort of put it on the table and let him approach it. But it's, yeah.
The blessing of the goddess. And he sort of he starts flicking through it. The kids look nervous. Bridget goes, right, you two into the car with me now. We'll wait for you.
Should we get Sarah?
All right.
Should Sarah be with us?
Oh, Mum. Yeah, maybe we should go and get Mum.
I feel like...
And Maggie.
Bridget pauses.
Maggie gets into Norwich in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And what time does Greg get in? Like, in less than that, right?
8. He gets in at 8. I don't know what time it is now.
Yeah, it's
guess-
probably 7:15.
And then that's everyone accounted for except for Nathan, who we have our suspicions about anyway. We know he may well be in the area, right? Or...
David stops and goes, Nathan will be with Marie.
Right.
He'll go to Marie.
What about John?
John. Is he still with us?
Yes.
Still kicking?
I can't tell. I don't know.
Well, should one of us give him a call? Otherwise it feels like...
Did he say that he would come?
Can't remember. Did we try and get in touch with John? I'm genuinely trying to remember.
You haven't...
No.
He said that he might be able to come for the weekend, but it's never been confirmed.
I've got a horrible feeling that... Yeah. Well, it feels like if it should be the full group. If the majority of us are here, we should at least give them a heads up. Especially now what happened with Stacey. It just... I feel like everyone needs to know. Like you said, David, we are connected. What you did that night, what we all did, to be fair, not that we remember much of it, connected us. You're right about that. And I feel it's unfair to... And I think I get my phone out as I'm saying.
Once we've done the seance, we'll have the secrets. Look here. And he sort of throws open this page, and you can see this blessing to the goddess. It's written in Old English. This was what I uncovered, but in a different version. In that Dutch translation. This is a truer version of it, but I've never tried to cast it since. But here, look, and he sort of scans down, and it's incredibly dense text. Like, really difficult to read. I mean, I think, given that sort of lingering extreme history role, I think Alicia's probably the one who sort of is gleaning something from it. The two of you are getting something because you're experienced with looking at all, but it's been a while. You're not. I mean, even you, I think, Ray, it's quite hard.
Could I make an English roll on it?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
See if I get anything. My English is exceptionally good. I think I might get something. I might get lucky with the roll.
No, my English is very... I might have to copy you.
Yes, that's an extreme success on my English language.
Then you two are gaining the same insights that Alicia's getting, which is this is exactly what David is saying. It is a blessing unto the goddess.
Okay.
In which one gathers in a circle around a fire and takes the focus of a horned skull.
How appropriate.
Yeah.
And in this version, it says, unto the feet of the black goddess shall rise the white of the bone, and that bone unto the hooves of the one who walks with 1,000 shall rise truth and a blessing.
Oh dear,
Oh no.
And then there's a sort of, you know how those old scripts, like this is all handwritten, not printed, and then there's a sort of weird section that comes down out of it, and it says,
Just...
Be thou unto the ram, or unto the goat as thou wast given, and the ram or the goat shall give unto thee. Twice shall be the horns.
Oh dear. Doesn't sound very moon goddess. Glastonbury, does it?
No. I don't know what crystal this one has,
I like
but
to
I
live
don't think it's going to
delicious.
be any, that you get in the shops normally.
Yeah. Fuck.
It's not going to be amethyst, is it?
So David looks at this and goes, by the way, did you get anything on that, Ray, or is it all a bit intense and difficult to read?
I didn't even roll my thing, I was just listening. That's just a regular, almost a hard success, but a regular success. Yeah. So I maybe get a bit of that, but not...
Yeah, so like it all looks pretty legitimate, and then from the reaction of the other two, it does seem like as you're sort of all looking at this book, Bridget stands at the front door and goes, "I've got the kids in the car. I don't. Oh Christ! I've got to get the sausages off." She dashes through, and then you realise that there's this subtle burning smell that's been associated with all of this the whole time.
I make one of those sort of instinctive grabs for my crotch, just sort of like check my fly. I don't know what. It's a weird instinct I have once you mentioned burning sausages.
And thank God your erection has gone down.
Thank
finally.
the Lord.
We are blessed indeed.
We are blessed indeed.
I mean, it feels like a juicy place to have got to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've actually seemed to have uncovered quite a lot, actually. Somehow.
I think
Yeah.
we could informally agree that we will get in the car and all go together somewhere, presumably to Mary's.
So yeah, a sort of scene framing thing that'll help with the setup. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's what David and Bridget are planning on doing. Bridget would offer to necessarily go by and pick up Sarah
I feel like I'm happy to do that. I feel like the last thing I might
and meet you there.
I'm happy to do that.
the last thing I might say before is just, do we need the perber?
Yes. Yes, bring it.
Got it. So I run upstairs and pocket the perber.
Yeah. Nice. And so you've got all the essentials to do some ritual magic.
Monstrum, perber.
What can possibly go wrong?
Lovely.
And 12 of the 13. Yeah.
David's made a right mess of
I
it.
think
He's really fucked it.
David says as he gets over to the car with the three of you, as you're getting in, the others are driving off. Like Bridget is stony faced and looks like ashen. I mean, it's horrific, really. But he turns to you and says, "Look, I hate to say this, but I think we might need Stacy's body."
Oh, fuck.
Fuck's sake.
hell.
But that can wait. That can wait till after the séance.
Well, I guess if we can pull the seance off, we can ask her how she feels about it, right?
He starts to smile and goes, "Yes.
And Greg will be here by then, so he can help.
Yes, we could do just that, couldn't we?"
Excellent, excellent.
Horrible.
And one of you's got to take David in the car because he's given his car to Mel.
Fuck's sake.
Oh, God.
Bagsy not here.
Cut to us sat in the car with Stacey's body propped up in between us.
Yeah. Wait till you get a look at Stacy's body.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Shit!
Burnt out eyeballs.
Eyeballs and grown out of a.
I have a question, because I can't remember. Is this Fricker or Sanderson?
It's Fricker, right?
This is Fricker.
Yeah.
Okay. It's useful to know in trying to remember whether we should let the ritual take place or not.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I feel like if it's Fricker, we want to complete the ritual. If it's Sanderson, I think we want to avoid it at all costs.
Oh, yeah, but then they learn from each other, right? So then you're like, oh, shit.
True. That's true. Yeah. Can't trust them.
At least if it's Scott, it doesn't matter which you do.
No, you're fucked, whatever. You'll end up some god's arse.
Up some god's arse in a Scottish shack, killing each other.
Pushing your way out of a giant sphincter.
Yeah. Oh dear. Well, on that note.
Oh, yeah, let's tame the desideri marginis. Silence will stop our hearts. Oh, I mean, it couldn't be more...
Great bit of music, that.
Music was lovely at the end.
Yeah.
Especially as I really noticed it when you said, we're going to need Stacey's body.
Ooh, yeah, it just kicked in.
There was definitely something about it, wasn't there? That kind of
Horrific.
creeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know when we're next.